It's great when we all get together for a family reunion where we're practically a whole group. It works for friendship reunions too. Many of us like to play games together, whether they're board games or card games or sport games related to physical education, just like at school, or group games. When it comes to organizations like Trips Incorporated and Trips R Us, which revolve around reunions with people of disability, that revolves around uniting people together like friends or family relatives. But the majority of those people with disabilities have trouble when it comes to board games or card games or sport games related to physical education. It's hard to get them to get with the program, and that makes it arduous when playing. This means that Trips Incorporated and Trips R Us can only do group games. Some group games might be those childhood and first learner games of 1. Duck Duck Goose, 2. Rotating chairs, 3. Musical chairs, 4. Tag, or 5. Red light, yellow light, green light. But most of the people with disability don't find that much fun in those first learner games. Here are some group games adults like to play right here. 1. Moneycomb, 2. Star Search, 3. The Factory, 4. Feel the Beat, 5. Fuse Clues Man, and 6. Halve Your Cake. Those games were made on this internet application Lumosity and are capable of being played as a group of friends or relatives or both without using the computer. This one is Moneycomb. The cover looks a lot like what you'd find in a beehive. The numbers you see on the cover are just some examples of what you'll find in these hexagons. There's all sorts of symbols you can find in them, such as numbers, letters, and shapes. You can only use numbers, or only letters, or only shapes, or you can mix any one of these choices. For instance, numbers with letters, numbers with shapes, letters with shapes, or all three with one each. You can only pick 3 symbols of any of these examples. This game works a lot like telephone, where you listen to what one person says and then says it to the next person ahead of you until it's gotten all the way around. But this game, you only repeat a sequence of numbers or letters of shapes. What you see on the worksheet is how you repeat what you heard from small to large. There's one paper for each player in the game and one spectator doing each writing of what they heard. The person who scored the most points wins the game. How it goes is when 1, 2, 3 is spoken, the person next in line must repeat 1, 2, 3 until you get all the way around the circle. Then it'll advance to 1, 1, 2, 3 the next time around. Then 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. Then 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. This will work with other single-digit numbers and combinations too. This will work with letters and shapes as well. This one is Star Search. The cover looks a lot like what you'd find when using a magnifying glass on something. In the following pictures, you will see some possible examples of what will work in the game. So now pause this clip to view every possible example. This worksheet shows you how the game is played. There's a lot more examples of objects to be found in this game if you think of them. This worksheet shows you how the game is played. You first ask your friend or relative or client about what they want for their part in the game. After you paste all of the items on the worksheet, you pass it around and have them write their names beside the item they requested. This one is the factory. The cover looks a lot like the traditional architecture of a factory, doesn't it? In this game, you group up in a circle and every person writes their name next to the part that makes that object. It goes all the way from the first part of the procedure to the last part of the procedure, and your names are written in that order also. Whoever writes their name on the last item wins that object. The winner must step out of the circle and keep their prize item with them. This will give the rest of the group a chance to win. This game works a lot like musical chairs, as you're convinced it does. In this game, The Factory, you can come up with any item such as a saxophone or a record player or such, but we recommend using traffic signals because Salt Lake County in Utah is getting close to finishing the upgrading of their traffic signals and will need to play this game in order to help them reach their 100% completion. There are 16 signals in Salt Lake County that are still hanging from an electrical cable, and here's a list of them. Pause the clip so that you can read the list. Now you read down the list, here they are according to the visual aid as you're about to see. This one is 1st South Avenue and 9th East Street. This is 1st South Avenue and 13th East Street. This is 2nd South Avenue and 9th East Street. This is 2nd South Avenue and 9th West Street. This is 2nd South Avenue and 13th East Street. This is 3rd South Avenue and 9th East Street. This is 3rd South Avenue and 13th East Street. This is 4th South Avenue and 9th West Street. This is 4th South Avenue and 13th East Street. This is 6th South Avenue and 9th East Street. This is 7th South Avenue and 5th East Street. This is California Avenue and Glendale Street. This is 17th South Avenue and 11th East Street. This is 3rd West Street and 2290 South Place. This is 27th South Avenue and Highland Drive. And this one is Highland Drive and Meadowmore Drive. To help Salt Lake County to work towards completing all of these changes, we'll need to play the game of the factory to show them that we're planning to grant them the money for their completion. When they finish their whole project, they're going to have a big party with fireworks to celebrate it all. Then we'll be so happy we accomplished a construction plan for a place that needed it. This one is Feel the Beat. The book cover looks a lot like the media and electronics you use to make music with and know the beat of a song. You play a certain song and then you evaluate the beat on how it goes. You speak out the beat and then write it down on this paper. You write your name next to it and see if you guessed it right. If you get it right, you get to listen to that song to learn more about it. This one is Fuse Clues Man. It was derived from Hangman, where part of him would go on the noose for each time a letter that's not in the puzzle is spoken. That's being replaced with just an ordinary countdown screen. If they reach the whole person, it would play out in shame where the screen would speak it out for them. That's being replaced with just the electricity of that electronic item denying it from working. The cover shows an electrician working inside of a power box so that you can see how this game works with fuses. This worksheet shows you how the power of that electronic went out, whether through a 1. Thunderstorm, 2. Short-circuiting, 3. Tampering with a machine in a store, 4. Breakdown in the power plant, 5. Power surge, 6. Tree falling on power lines, 7. Vehicle crashing into some power lines, 8. Electrical outlet, or 9. Just regularly blown fuses. The electronic items we all know well enough are 1. Apartment building, 2. A mini mall, 3. Department store, 4. School building, 5. Airport concourse, 6. Rotating beacon, 7. City lights, 8. Downtown lights, 9. Parking lot lights, 10. Park lights, 11. Farm lights, 12. Runway lights, 13. Traffic signals, 14. Four-way stop signals, 15. Pedestrian signals, 16. School zone signs, 17. Railroad crossings, 18. Railroad signal towers, 19. Road vehicles, 20. Mopeds, 21. Train engines, 22. Marine vehicles, 23. Flying vehicles, 24. Spaceships. You have the category of the clue so that it'll tell you whether it's a phrase or place or song name or such. The countdown is the small square on the left going from 15 to 0. This flat line holds the letters that are not found in the puzzle. The rest of the way down is the board where the spaces for the letters are. It looks rather strange, but it's just a general for the different notches where the letters go. This one is Halve Your Cake. The book cover looks a lot like what you'd find in the kitchen for cooking or baking things. The worksheet looks a lot like a recipe for baking or cooking different kinds of foods. The ingredient is written in the first column, and the number of that ingredient is written in the second column, and the person's name is written in the third and long column. Use these multiple sheets when you have multiple people in the group. You have the players pick a number between 1 and 15, and you write their number on the sheet. Whichever person baked or cooked the most of that food wins the game. After that, the leader of the game evaluates the number of batches they made in the group. This game does not consist of any real cooking or baking anything in. It's just a game that simulates cooking. All of these are 6 examples of Lumosity games that you can do with your friends as a group without using the computer. If there happen to be more kinds of Lumosity games that are made to be played as a group of people, just look them down on the computer and list them after you have figured them all out. You can make a group playing procedure out of them if you get it all figured out.